Hey everybody, this is Steven Kaiser with the Keyword Hacking Team. You're in for a treat with this video for sure. Mr. Alan Pollitt, the SEO guru, is going to do a reaction video to Neil Patel's very popular 3 powerful SEO tips to rank #1 in Google in 2019 and in 2020. Please stay all the way till the end, because Alan reveals something that Neil has missed considering the Google Search Console. That's very critical for your SEO and optimizing your website and your articles. Thanks so much. Hey, if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe to our channel and don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks so much. Enjoy the show.
When I was 16 years old, I created a website called Advice Monkey. It no longer exists. If you search for it, you're not going to see my website. It was a replication and a shitty replication of monster.com. And when I created the website, I thought, oh, cool, this is it. People are going to come to my site and I'm going to get traffic. But you know what? I popped up the website and no one came to it. From that point, I realized there was something called SEO that I had to do. I paid a few marketing firms to help me with search engine optimization so that way I could rank #1 on Google for terms like job search. But you know what? I gave them money and I got no results. Eventually, as a 16-year-old kid, I lost all of my money. You only can make so much money cleaning restrooms and picking up trash. So I had to learn it. But when I first...
Okay, so I kind of want to just comment on a couple things he's already said in this video. And this is how reactionary videos work. So you watch a bit, you react to what you hear. So a couple of things that he's doing, which are kind of very good video marketing tips that he's basically showing without really talking about video marketing, is the very first thing at the very beginning of the video. He said, you have to watch the whole video or you're not going to be able to achieve the result that you're looking for. That's a very good thing to do, where you sort of prepare people to watch the whole video. What happens is with YouTube, if they do not watch the whole video, it will actually rank your video poorer in the search results on YouTube. So you want to get the viewer to watch the whole thing. Duration of viewership really impacts the rankings. So what he's doing is he's setting up that whole ask of the viewer to watch the whole video, and he gives them like a teaser to do that, because he's going to say you're going to rank #1 on YouTube and if you watch the whole video, which is really important. So he creates that teaser, gives them a reason to watch the whole video. The second thing he's doing right now is he's talking about how he failed in the past, and this is setting up an explanation for people who are beginners. They might feel like, oh, SEO is useless because I tried doing things. I even hired a company and it didn't work. And he's setting up that kind of psychological thing where people are like, well, it doesn't work. Well, he's going to show you how it's different. He's preparing your mind, where he's saying, well, it might not have worked for you in the past, but here's how it's going to work for you now. And I really like that whole strategy of kind of preparing your audience for what to expect, or to see a change in the way that they're doing things. And it's a really brilliant marketing strategy. Neil Patel is actually one of the top guys in the space. I appreciate when he does these kind of things.
Yeah,
so,
I have one comment too. By hearing that beginning part, it makes me feel like he's been doing this forever. He started when he was 16.
Yeah, that's another cool thing. That's a really important thing. You want to kind of create that sense that I'm born and raised on this topic in a way, where you're saying I started when I was really, really young. When I was born, I came out with saying SEO as my first word, and that kind of recreates in the audience's mind that, oh, he must be an expert because he's not a child anymore and he must have been doing this for a long time. And that's a really great way of creating authority in yourself without saying, oh, I've been doing this all my life. You just sort of set it up where, you hint at that, where you say, I did it since I was 16. And you talk about your experience at that time. And, obviously he's grown since then, and he's kind of building up that understanding of how he's grown. I think that's quite brilliant. So let's keep on watching here.
Started, it was as simple as putting the keywords on your website and you could rank. I wish it was that easy these days. Number one, focus on content. See, Google has this update called Hummingbird. And with Hummingbird, what they decided to do is websites who just have content on everything won't do as well as websites who focus on one single niche and are super thorough. For example, let's say you have a website around dating. If you have a website around dating and your article is, let's say, talking about 5 ways you can land a date or 5 ways you can land your dream date. If you end up breaking down, hey, go to match.com, sign up, and you'll find a match after you create a profile, you're not going to do that well. But if you write an article that breaks down how to create a profile on Match.com, the ideal picture, the ideal description, how to be funny, how to even maybe add video. I don't know, I haven't been on these dating sites in ages. But if you go really in depth and you break down every little thing that they should do, and then after you break down Match.com, you then talk about Tinder, you then talk about Bumble, you then talk about eHarmony.
So just quickly, he's doing something quite good here. This is his first step. What he's talking about is setting up the keywords. He's not really talking in keywords. Like, in a way, he's not really explaining it from an SEO perspective. He's more explaining it how a layman can do it. But really what he's talking about and he's explaining is, it's not like when you create your content, a lot of people will just make it very, very simple. And they will sort of talk about a whole bunch of different topics. The first thing he talked about was the Hummingbird update. Again, that's appealing to authority because you're saying something that people would not be familiar with. The Hummingbird update looked at site theming, and that just means that your site has to be centered around a topic. If your site is not really themed well, and it talks about many, many topics, it generally won't rank as well as a site that's purely focused on a particular niche topic. So he sort of shows a little bit of authority by kind of talking about this update and he gives a pretty good explanation of how that update works. But the next part, and still within his first step, is this idea of writing content that really goes into depth. And the thing that he mentions, and he's doing the same thing that we're actually doing on this video. The thing that we're doing in this video is appealing to authority. And I'm doing a reaction video to Neil Patel. So when we upload this video, we'll be calling it Neil Patel SEO for Beginners Reaction. Okay, something where we're leveraging his name. Well, what he's saying right now about eHarmony and all these Match.com and all those things, well, what happens is people will search for those authority sites on dating. They'll search for, how do I set up a profile? How do I set up a profile that will get me a date? How do I optimize that? And people actually will search for those things. And if you write a blog about that, generally you'll rank really well. And people will really love that content because it's very niched. And what you do is, as he said, you repeat the process for every major dating site. And by doing that, you're basically leveraging all those keywords. People will search in the same pattern. They'll search, how do I create a profile on Match? How do I create a profile on eHarmony? And they'll search that way. Those are keywords. He's not talking about keywords, but he's showing you in a layman's way that you should be using keywords and then repeating the process for all the different niches within that space. And that goes back to theming. If you do that kind of process where you repeat, you basically create one article about eHarmony, one about Match, you create a theme around dating sites. And that becomes a very powerful thing. It works well with the new updates that Google's doing. It's something actually, believe it or not, I've been practicing for 20 years now with the sites that I develop. I've always really pushed hard that I, want a very strong theme within any site that I build. So this is not really 2019 stuff, but it's leveraging some of the updates that happened recently. So it's quite interesting.
Alan, I have a question.
Yep.
On the fact that he's talking about eHarmony and the different dating sites in the video that he's saying it, is he drawing traffic by the fact that he's saying it?
So generally what'll happen is he could be doing a couple things here. One, he could be actually leveraging eHarmony as a dating platform, and he could be paid for like promoting them, for example. That can happen. I don't think that is the case here, but it could be. He could be getting paid for them because he's kind of promoting them, right? And especially on a video where it got 1 million views, generally you can get like about anywhere from $20 per 1,000 views. So you could actually make some pretty good money just by having that promotion within your video. So what you would do if he's really trying to leverage that is he would say, okay, I'm going to be talking about dating sites. And he could approach like eHarmony and say, hey, look, I'm going to be talking about dating sites. I'm going to be mentioning you in my video, or I'm going to mention your competitor. Give them a reason to get in there. And I'm going to show your logo. I'm going to talk about the importance, and kind of do a little pitch. So that becomes a way of getting some extra money from your videos. It's a really it's really popular in movies nowadays where they have the character drinking a can of Coke or Pepsi or something like that. It's the same idea where you can leverage I forget what the type of marketing it is, where you insert product placement within a video. He could be doing that here. I don't think so, but he could be. But in terms of actual searches, this would not necessarily get him this video more searches. It might, because Google will index, as you can see, the closed captioning. I left the closed captioning on. These keywords will be indexable. So if you search for eHarmony and Neil Patel, you'll probably get this video. So because these keywords are being indexed. But it's not really optimized to it. So there'd be a whole bunch of other eHarmony videos that would rank better if you just searched eHarmony, for example. So
I got it.
I don't think that's really what he's trying to achieve here. But okay, so let's watch some more.
All other platforms, you then even discuss how you should respond to people and engage with them. Should you be hitting people up? What's the first thing you should say to them? How should you respond? Where should you go for your first date, right? How to carry from your first date and ask them on a second date. But if you're super thorough and your content is so amazing that people are like, wow, I read this article, I don't have any more questions, and I know what to do next. That's how thorough you need to be. So poke holes in your content, and as many holes as you can, and fill them all up, so then that way people are like, this is the end-all site that you should end up reading if you're interested in dating online. Actually, what's funny, I wish dating was this easy when I was younger. I could have just swiped an app like Tinder and find the next match. I was sitting next to my buddy Terry the other day, and he kept swiping on Tinder, and he's like, check this out, swipe, instant match, swipe, instant match. 30 plus matches within a few minutes. But back in my days, you would have to go to a bar and meet people and actually talk to them. All right, so now that we got that up.
So a couple of cool things in that little bit at the end there. Again, it's kind of suggesting he's older, right? So again, remember we just back to the idea that he's been doing this a long time. He's kind of setting that up by saying, hey, in my day, we would go to the bars. Tinder and all those ones have been around for about 10 years, right? So in a way, he's kind of aging himself. He's showing that he's much older than he might look. And again, it appeals to the fact that he's been doing this for a long time. The other thing that I just kind of want to mention was that some of the stuff that he was talking about there was getting really thorough with the articles. He talked about punching holes in it. So generally when you write an article nowadays, you know, in previous videos, we talked about rank brain, and we talked about content marketing. We talked about all these kind of topics. One of the things that happens is most people are pretty lazy about creating content. They'll create like a 200-word article or something really kind of flimsy. And Google calls that thin content. It doesn't rank very well. It does kind of a crappy job of SEO. What he's talking about is really creating 1,000 to 2,000 word articles, where when you're writing the article, you're thinking about, oh, if somebody reads this, would they have a question here? Or would they have a thought here? And every one of those things becomes a new paragraph that you're going to write about. So one of the times we did a video, we talked about answer box. And one of the things that Google likes is very rich content where it basically asks the question and then provides the answer to that question, or provides a list of answers to the question. And that's really what he's talking about here, that you're creating content that really breaks down the topic so it becomes the complete authority. Especially with rank brain, it's super important, because what ends up happening is rank brain, which is Google's AI, it looks at what's happening when people visit your site. Are they coming in, they read for a couple minutes and leaving, or are they staying on that and they never come back to search again? And if that's the case, if they come there and they find all the answers that they're looking for about that topic, then Google knows that that page that they found was very, very informative. And generally that page over time will rank better as a result. Google will naturally rank it higher. So what he's talking about, he's not explaining the detail, but he is setting up this way of preparing for this, that you have to create articles that are considered rich. And the way you do it is you really poke holes into your article. You say, okay, you know, I'm talking about this. Did I forget something about this? Should I, you know, what questions would I have? One of the tricks that I showed in the past was using answer the public. And what you do is you put into answer the public a keyword. And what it'll do is it'll show you all the questions people might have about that keyword. And what you should do is when you write an article, you're going to try to answer all those questions about whatever topic it is that you're creating. And that way, when somebody comes to that article, you are the authority. You have left no room for people to be confused. They will know everything it is about that topic. And if you go to Neil Patel's site, he's actually an expert on this. His articles are very, very thorough. They're almost like books. Each article within his site is just like a book. It's like very, very long, but it's well written, and it's written in such a way that it's gonna make you think of questions in your head, and then soon it's gonna provide those answers for you. And it's really well designed. And if you're trying to like leverage any marketing effort, you want to do that same kind of process. So what I actually recommend is go to these bloggers, look at what they do, and then just repeat it. Like you don't have to be a rocket scientist here. You don't have to like invent something creative and new. You just have to use what works in the past. A lot of these marketing, I recommend check out my website, check out Neil Patel, check out all these guys that are in the space, and we all do it. We all create these kind of very long, very authoritative, very content-rich blogs that answer pretty much any question you might have on that topic, because those kind of style of articles generally rank very well. And there's been a few updates recently that really, like there was the Phantom update, that Phantom 5 just came out, which really looks at quality content and what Google defines as quality content. Like the SEO guys call it the Phantom update because Google wasn't telling us what it was. And later, Google admitted that, oh yes, we did do an update, and we call it the quality update, and it's about quality content. So if you have very thin articles, which are like 200 words or a few hundred words, then you're probably going to do really poorly after this update. But if you write these kind of articles that Neil Patel is recommending, or that I recommend, you'll probably do really, really well, and you'll see actually a surge in traffic. Some sites that have been using these practices have, doubled their traffic as a result of this update. So it's really important. This is not something that's just going to be 2019 important. This is going to be even more important as Google's AI becomes more crucial to the ranking. So something to be aware of. So I'll play some more of his video.
Yeah, Alan, one quick comment. Two comments actually. One is that right now you're doing what you're talking about, but you're speaking it. You're being very thorough on everything that Neil Patel is doing. And the second thing is that I just want to encourage anybody that's on the masterclass to, if you have a question for your particular niche, whatever your business is, just to type it in the box there, and I'll go ahead and ask Alan, okay?
Yeah, and if you guys are watching this video later on YouTube, feel free to ask the questions in the comment section. We'll answer them. So that's another trick you can do for anyone that's doing YouTube marketing. Always ask your audience to comment and ask more questions. Just a tip. Okay,
Excellent.
let's get Neil Patel talking here.
Okay.
Let's go to the second tip if you want to rank #1 on Google. The second tip I have for you is optimize your title tag and your meta description. Have you ever done a Google search and noticed that every time you do it, there's this link at the top and then there's this one sentence? Well, the link at the top is called the title tag and the description below is called a meta description. Now think of it this way. If you search for the phrase online dating and you don't see the word online dating in either the title or the description, are you going to click on the result? Well, if you are, there's something wrong. Because why would you click on a result that isn't related to what you're looking for? In addition to that, have you ever done a search for a term like online dating, and have you ever noticed that the word isn't in the title or description? That's because Google tracks who's clicking on what listing. And they've learned that when a keyword is in the listing, that same keyword that you're searching for, they know you're way more likely to click through. So in your title tag and your meta description, make sure you include the keyword. But you can't just include the keyword like online dating, right? The easiest word, what I would do, and I wish it was this simple, I'll just put online dating, online dating, online dating, online dating. If I could put it 20 times so people know that the article's on online dating, I wish I would get more clicks. But it's not that simple. Yes, you have to include the keyword in your title and your description, but it has to be appealing. If it doesn't flow in a sentence, it's not easy to read, and it's not appealing or evoking curiosity, no one is going to click through. The third thing I have for you is to use Google search prompt.
Okay, so before he does this third thing, he could have gone into a little bit more depth there. He kind of failed in a way to really explain how that works. The title meta is super important. What he said was actually a little bit wrong, and I don't want to be too harsh on the guy, but he kind of failed on this one. So a couple things. When you write your title meta, that's the thing that appears right here. You'll see this at the very top. That's your title meta tag. Okay. If you use the Yoast plugin in WordPress, what'll happen is they'll allow you to create a title meta, and you can choose what words are in there. Generally, the default setting for any WordPress website is whatever the title of the article is, that becomes your title meta, plus usually it's your title of your article plus the actual business name or whatever it is that the blog, that article appears on. So what you generally want to do when you create these titles is you want to have the keyword at the very beginning of that article. So you'd put like online dating, okay? Now, he's right when he said that you have to make it engaging and catchy. So what you generally want to do is you want to say online dating, tips that you need to know to get that girl, or something where it's like catchy, that people are gonna really want to click it. A couple of things that kind of do this that can actually get you more clicks is if you use the bar within the thing, or if you use certain words in association to the keyword. So they found that if you use the bar, you'll get about 3 times the click-through rate. So if you do online dating bar guide to dating, okay, to online dating, okay. So what I've done is I've used a keyword at the beginning. I've used a secondary keyword as as another keyword within that title meta, and that's the way you want to write it, where you have like a primary keyword and a secondary keyword within the title. And by doing that, and you use things like guide or information or pricing or sale if you're trying to do e-commerce, and if you do it in such a way that it makes people kind of want to engage. The word guide, if you're doing anything where it's information based, the word guide really makes people want to click it, because they feel like they're getting like the complete answer. And that's what people are looking for. When they're searching for information, they're looking for the complete answer. So if you say guide or tips or tricks or what, those kind of keywords, generally you'll get more click-throughs. So, and the funny thing is, those are actually secondary keywords. So generally what you can do is you pick a primary keyword and you pick a secondary keyword that is like something that people are searching that is like useful, like tips or tricks, guide, course, these kind of secondary keywords. So he kind of could have gone into depth a bit more about that. I just feel like he missed opportunity. Another thing that he should have mentioned is that you have to be really careful about your title meta tags in terms of the length, because what ends up happening is you have to make them about 69 characters, which is pretty short. Generally what I'll do is actually go longer than 69 characters, but what I'll do is I'll have whatever words that I think will get the click within that 69 characters, and then words like your business name and all that kind of stuff might fall beyond that 69 characters. Now Google will index the whole title, but it only displays 69 characters. So you're really designing that 69 characters to be clickable, to make them want to click. And in the description, he didn't really get into this. This description is pure marketing conversion copy. And what I mean by that is, again, you want to repeat the keyword, but you want to write the content so that it's really going to make people interested in clicking through. So you have about 200 characters within the description, and you really want to write it in such a way that that person, they read that first title, but when they read the description, they're like, this is like, you say like, this is the complete guide of everything you need to know about online dating as a description. And then people are like, oh, I got to click this. Or the secrets of how to win a girl's heart, something like that. Online dating tips, so where you kind of make it something really, really engaging. Now, on the SEO front, the description meta tag has 0 value. It only has value in terms of converting people to a click. So it's really about writing the copy, not for the search engine, but for the user, to make them want to click that link. So he didn't really get into that. Kind of a miss there, but again, he talked about getting thorough about when you write your content. Well, he should have been a little bit more thorough in this video and gotten into some of the weeds, because these things really matter. And if you don't understand them, you won't do them properly and you'll just miss out. So there's a lot of things that he missed out on this, where he could have really gotten into writing a description meta tag that converts and getting into how the keywords should be placed within that article and how it should be placed within the title. So a bit of a miss there, but I think he's trying to make a short video.
I have a quick question, Alan.
Sure.
Title meta tag. Is that it? You mentioned title meta tag carry high value, but description Not
has
not as
almost
high of
zero
a value.
value in terms of SEO.
Description is the body, right? You're talking about the body of the email.
No.
What is
So
that?
I'm
Can
gonna
you explain
show
the difference between both?
I'm just going to show you online dating. Okay. So online dating, I just searched online dating because that's what Neil's talking about, right? So this is the title meta. A title meta is right here, right? That's the title meta. This is the title, this is the meta description. So you'll notice they use the word online dating here, and they use it again here. Google will actually highlight naturally. You'll see how it's highlighted within the text where the keyword appears. Okay? Having the keyword in your description will make people, and where it becomes highlighted, when they see that keyword, it will trigger a response. They're more likely to click it because they see that that keyword's been highlighted in the text. Now, what you see here is actually this site, this blog.to, which is actually a major site in Toronto. They did it wrong. This is actually wrong. What they did is totally wrong. And the reason I know it's wrong is this is a title, meta title, but this is not a meta description. This is called a snippet. Now, a snippet is different than a meta description. A snippet is what Google will do is if you don't have a meta description, like let's say you just didn't code in a meta description, what it'll do is it will guess and create its own meta description for you. And what it'll do is it'll find the keyword on the page, and any text that's near that keyword, that becomes your meta description. So that is a fail. This company failed on this, because what you don't want to have happen is because this is so important to get the user to click it, you want to have it be something that's really going to be salesy and convert them, right? And if Google's just picking random pieces of text from your site, you're not going to have that really, really great content that's going to make people want to click this listing, okay? So this is a bit of a fail by this website where they really didn't write, the meta description, and therefore they have this junk. This is not really interesting, okay? Let's take a look at some of the other ones. So this is a real meta description. See how they have, like, it's salesy, right? Try online dating for free. And you see it's big, it's, you know, it's all uppercase exclamation. You see how it's salesy stuff? Register now. See compatible Canadian singles. You know, so they're really writing the meta description, start now, find love. It's very salesy, right? It's really about creating that instinct to basically click, right? Because it's things like find love. You would even, like, if I was going to go for more of an effect, I would put find love now, you know, an exclamation, right? Where you really, you know, want to drive the point home that they have to click you. However, this site, eHarmony, which Neil Patel talked about, they failed on their thing. If you look at this, what did they forget? Do you see?
Online dating.
Yeah, they didn't put it in the meta description.
That's why they're number 2, right?
Yeah, and that mistake makes them number 2. That one mistake.
Interesting.
And this guy will get about 3 or 4 times the more traffic from this one keyword than this guy will get. Big loss, big mistake. And the fact that they just didn't put in online. Find love with our trusted. Why did they put trusted? They could have put find love with our online dating site. Very simple fix. One word, and they messed up their marketing. So simple, but oh well. So this is what Neil Patel is talking about, writing a really strong SEO title and a strong description that's salesy, makes people want to click. That's the goal, okay? You'll notice that this one, Plenty of Fish, is the next one. They do things like 100% free. Another trick that you can do when writing descriptions or writing titles is put numbers. When you put like this 100%, that has impact. It gets 2 or 3 times more clicks as well, just by putting numbers in it. Something about numbers makes people feel, I don't know, something inspires them to want to click it. You'll see like these kind of numbers in the descriptions. That's written by somebody that knows this psychological effect, where they're really leveraging the fact that people are more likely to click a link if they see a number in it. So this is a good marketing strategy. Okay, so these are things that Neil Patel should have mentioned in his video, but oh well. Maybe in his next video he does. But let's go back to his video. So this is his step 3.
Did you know that Google gives you a tool that teaches you how to rank #1 on Google? Yes, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is true, and it's called Google Search Console. If you're not already a user of it, sign up. It doesn't cost $1. You're missing out if you're not using it. I can't emphasize that enough. So now that you're using Google Search Console, give it a few days because it takes some time to populate data. You'll see a screen that shows search analytics, and this shows you all the pages on your website that are getting you traffic. But the cool thing about Google Search Console is they also show you which articles are getting impressions. And here's what I mean by impressions. You know, when you do a search on Google, you don't always click through on a result, right? If you did, then you'd be clicking through on 10 results every time you did a search. That would be insane. What Google shows is how many people are seeing your listing and clicking through, and how many people don't click through. So they show you how many impressions you're getting, the clicks, and the click-through rate. And what you'll find is, in general, you're lucky if you're getting around a 5% click-through rate, sometimes 10, 15, but in most cases, most of your pages are going to be getting less than 5% click-through rate. Now, the cool part about Google Search Console is they show you all the keywords that you're getting impressions for and all the ones you're getting clicks for. Now, remember the first tip was about content thoroughness, and you want an article that talks about everything under the sun? Well, you can use Google Search Console to tie in back to the first tip. So kind of #1 and 3 are related, in which you want to take all the keywords you're getting impressions for and start adding them to your copy. Now,
okay, I'm just going to go back for 1 second. He's sort of wrong in this part. It's a little bit bothering me. Okay, so okay. So one of the cool things that Console will do is it does show you the keywords, it does show you the impressions that you're getting, and it shows what percentage of those impressions you get, right? That's very useful stuff. However, one even more useful thing that it gives that he doesn't mention is, it's very frustrating for me that he doesn't mention it, is it shows the ranking. So what'll happen is you will see that, for example, real Instagram followers, this is what Console will look like. Real Instagram followers, you'll see 1,500 as an impression number. And whatever site it is, got 14% of those impressions as clicks, okay? But if you add one more column, you can actually add one more column, you can actually see what your ranking is for that keyword. And what you can do is you can say, well, let's say I see a really big number here, and I'm only getting a very small percentage. Like, here's a good example. This one, he's getting, this keyword gets almost 9,000 impressions. He's only getting 1.66%, okay, very little. Now, if you had that one more column, he would see that that site might be ranked 11th or 12th or something where it's not quite in the top 10. And knowing that, you can say, well, gee, if I was ranked a little bit better, maybe I could get more impressions. And what you do, I showed this in the previous video, a couple of videos ago, is what you do is you say, okay, what article, where do I rank? You know, I know that I rank 15th or 16th or whatever it is for that keyword. What you do is you'd search that keyword on Google and go to find what page it is on your site that you're ranking, that's ranking for that keyword. So, and then what you do is, like, let's say, okay, I'm gonna just do an example, get Instagram followers, okay? So get Instagram followers, okay? Followers, okay? So I searched get Instagram followers. And let's say I go through the list. Oh, none of these are me, but Google said that I'm ranked 30th. Okay. So I go and I say, okay, there's my site. I don't know. I'm just picking a random site. I'm pretending this is me. Okay. And I see that, oh, I'm ranked number 23. Okay. And I get only 1% of the actual clicks, or the percentage of clicks that I could have gotten for this keyword. And I go through and I look at this page that's on my site. This is not my site, but I'm pretending this is my site. I say, well, how well is this page optimized? Okay, so get more Instagram followers. What was the keyword we searched? Get Instagram followers. Okay, so what happens is you got more in here. So maybe this article ranks well for get more Instagram followers, but doesn't rank as well for get Instagram followers. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a trick. I'm going to go Control F. And see how it says Instagram followers? I'm going to just put in get and then highlight all. And you'll notice it's not on the page. 0 results found. But he's ranked 23. So, wow, this page, oh, if I just optimized it a bit better for get Instagram followers, maybe I say it again here, mention it a couple times here, mention it in the body here, put some more content on this page. And if I fix this problem, then I can get better ranked. I fixed the page that actually has the problem. So knowing which page it is that ranks and where you're, like, so what he's talking about, he just kind of misses the mark. He doesn't talk about this extra step that you got to do, where you have to kind of break down what page is it that's, you know, getting this low number of click-throughs, and how do I get that page to convert better? How do I get it to be better ranked so that I can get a higher percentage? Okay, so when I see something like this, and it's got like 24% of the potential clicks, right? There's 242 impressions, and it gets 24%. Generally, 24% represents ranked number 1 or 2. So already there's not much I can do. So looking at the impressions and looking at this percentage means nothing, means absolutely nothing to me. I want to know, where am I failing? And I'm failing when the ranking is below a certain number. So generally, this is not what you really want to know. You want to know how you ranked for these keywords. And if you see that there's a gap where you're ranked like out of the top 10 or not even the top, or not in the top 20, then you know that there's a potential for you just to optimize that page, get the ranking for it, and really get these numbers up. Okay, so big miss for Neil on this one. He could have really gotten into this one because it's such a major thing. And this is a trick that I use a lot, where I go into my clients' websites, I look at their console, and I see these potentials for where they can potentially optimize the article that's getting some traffic and really get just a little bit more. Like if you just tweak everything in your site where you see that there's a potential for more traffic, you can get a huge amount of traffic. Even if you can just improve it by like 1 or 2%. Well, if I improve each of these by 1 or 2%, that means that I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of more visitors to my site. So just a bit of an annoying thing for me. Maybe he's trying to dumb it down a bit, but I really would have liked him to go into more detail on that because it's such a major point. Okay, so I'm just going to play his video again.
And start adding them to your copy. Now, don't just shove them in and have your content be keyword rich, where someone reads it and all it is online dating, Tinder, eHarmony, dating online, meeting someone from online dating, right? If someone was reading your article and it sounded just like that, they're going to bounce off your site because that means your content sucks and it just has too many keywords. It has to flow naturally and be educational. So you want to take those keywords that you're seeing in Google Search Console and add them to the article. Now, we have an article on Instagram, and it teaches you how to get over 300 targeted Instagram followers per day. That article is around 10,000 words. When I first wrote that article, it wasn't 10,000 words, it was roughly 2,500. I went to Google Search Console, I saw all the people that are searching for terms related to that article, I added them within that article, I made it more thorough, and you know what? My traffic more than tripled to that article. Yes, it is that simple. And when I made that change, it didn't happen right away, but I noticed the results within 50 days. That's not a long time. So now let's recap on the tips. 1, make your content super thorough. 2, make sure you include the keywords within your title tag and meta description, but also when you're doing your title and description, make sure you're evoking curiosity, you're creating amazing titles that everyone wants to read and click through. And number 3, use the free tool that Google gives you that'll help you rank number 1. That's Google Search Console. Use those 3 things and you can rank number 1, not just in the future, but also right now. Now that you've learned these 3 tips, I challenge you in which I want you to take these tactics and implement them. And then after you implement them, in the next 45 days, I want you to leave a comment with your results. Because if you're not doing well, that means I'm not happy. And I know these tactics work. And that's why I'm challenging you. Because if you implement them, you're going to see results and you're going to be ecstatic and your life is going to change. And I want to build a community of like-minded people where we all take action and we help each other grow. So I challenge you to take action and implement these 3 steps. Now granted, I know you may be busy and you may not be able to do all of them right away, but just pick one. It doesn't have to be time consuming. Pick one of them, make the change. Maybe you can start with the second tactic because that's the easiest one. Implement it and you can start seeing results right away.
Okay, so really great what he just did there. Just he went over the 3 main points, but he didn't just go over them. He basically set it up as a challenge, and that's quite brilliant. Where you challenge your audience, and then you get them to say how well they did in implementing that challenge that you set out for them. And if you think about that, what he's doing is he's actually creating evergreen content by doing that, because what he's saying is it's going to take you 50 days to see the results. So what's going to happen is this video is going to be, people are going to come back to it in 50 days. So you're going to keep on getting that viewership. And that's a really quite brilliant thing to do. I've seen a lot of marketers use this tactic where they'll say, try this out, tell me how, there's a lot of craft ones that'll do this where they'll say, I showed you how to make some craft and tell me how well you did at making that craft. And what it does is it gets people to come back and comment on how well that they implemented it. And people really love that engagement, and they love that whole, being able to show how well they did at achieving the results that the person was talking about. These are the kind of things with YouTube marketing. It's so important, critically important, to engage your audience and basically get them to give you feedback. When you make a marketing video, you have to say, did I mention everything? Did you find flaws in what I said? Did you, and you basically point out, give them the ability to point out your flaws so that you can make better videos and they feel like they're part of the process. So when you're watching this, if you're watching it on YouTube, tell me, did I miss something? Is there something I should have gone into more detail? And then, we'll get that feedback and then we can add that to the next video and make it stronger. And we always respond to the comments that we put in that people put in their YouTube videos. We want to, engage our audience, and really we love that feedback.